Stephen Hawking, a brilliant mind lost to time, left us with a chilling warning. We must conquer new worlds or face extinction. Battling ALS, he unlocked the secrets of the universe, urging us to look beyond our Earth. His fears are echoed by Elon Musk, who dreams of Mars as humanity's safe haven. The race against time and space is not just a fantasy, but a necessary survival strategy. Join us as we delve into their visions and the urgent quest to save our future. The new mix of man and machine. In the beginning, when humans start to develop artificial intelligence, AI, these new forms of intelligence begin to improve incredibly fast. As they evolve, there's a possibility that what were once purely biological creatures, focused mainly on spreading their genetic material and surviving, could transform into beings that are part machine, part life form. This new type of existence might not feel the urge to spread out into the universe as humans do, because they don't share the same biological drives. Stephen Hawking, a name known across the globe, stands out as one of the most brilliant minds in the history of science. Throughout his extraordinary life, Stephen devoted his time, energy, and intellect to unravel the mysteries of Earth and the cosmos that surrounds us. He was not just about understanding the universe in scientific terms. He aimed to make these complex ideas accessible to everyone. By developing various theories and explaining complex concepts in simpler terms, he significantly contributed to our collective understanding of the universe we inhabit. As the wheels of human innovation keep turning, as we continue to advance our technology, and as we keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible, we encounter the limits of what biological life can achieve. This relentless pursuit of advancement may lead us to create forms of life that are more mechanical than biological. These machine-based life forms may lack the intrinsic desire of biological beings to explore and colonize space. The world was struck with sorrow when we lost Stephen Hawking in March 2018. His battle with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS, a severe neurological disease, lasted for nearly 50 years, much longer than doctors had predicted. But even though he's gone, the famous British scientist left us with some serious warnings. In this video, we will explore Stephen's life, the impact he had, and the urgent messages he left us with before he died. Stephen's impact on science is huge. He was truly a brilliant mind. As a theoretical physicist with an IQ said to be over 160, Stephen contributed to science more than most of his peers, helping us all to gain a better understanding of the universe and everything in it. Stephen was born in January 1942 and grew up in Oxford, England, in a family full of intellectuals. His dad was a medical researcher, while his mom had a broad education, studying philosophy, politics, and economics. Growing up in such an educated family, it's no wonder that young Stephen was always curious and eager to learn. Interestingly enough, Stephen Hawking didn't start out as the top student we imagine him to be. In his younger days, he actually found school quite challenging. However, things started to change when his math teacher, Dick Renata, helped him out. Hawking began to improve, and even as a young student, he showed great potential. By the age of 17, he was already studying at University College, Oxford, and he didn't stop there. He managed to earn a first-class degree in physics by October 1962. At the young age of 20, Hawking went on to become a graduate assistant at Trinity Hall, Cambridge. There, he worked towards his doctorate in applied mathematics and theoretical physics. He was particularly interested in the fields of cosmology and general relativity, subjects heavily influenced by Albert Einstein. Hawking admired Einstein, the famous German scientist who developed the theory of relativity, and wanted to explore similar paths in his own research. During his early years at Oxford and Cambridge, Hawking threw himself into the study of the universe's mysteries. He was driven by a belief that there was more to the world than what met the eye. Encouraged by Einstein's groundbreaking work, he began to explore the universe's hidden aspects, which we will delve into more deeply shortly. However, just as his career was starting to take shape, Hawking faced a devastating setback. At only 21 years old, he was diagnosed with ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. For those unfamiliar, ALS is a serious condition that affects the nervous system, weakening muscles and impairing physical functions by breaking down nerve cells. This disease limits the body's ability to move and function normally. Currently, there is no cure for ALS, and although scientific progress has been made, most people diagnosed with the condition have a life expectancy of 5 to 10 years, depending on how quickly the disease advances. When Hawking was diagnosed, doctors estimated he had only 2 years left to live. But Hawking refused to be defeated by his prognosis. Faced with what seemed like an insurmountable challenge, he didn't just resign himself to fate. Instead, he doubled down on his commitment to science and continued his quest for knowledge, determined to uncover truths about the world that could benefit all of humanity. Hawking's journey is not merely one of survival. It's a remarkable story of thriving against the odds, continuing his research and contributions despite the severe limitations imposed by ALS. Next, we see how Stephen Hawking didn't let a tough disease stop him from thinking big about our universe. Space homes. Our next address? Several years after his diagnosis, Stephen Hawking's condition had progressed to the point where he needed a wheelchair to move around, and eventually, he lost his ability to speak. Despite these challenges, one thing that remained untouched by ALS was his brilliant mind. Motivated by a renewed sense of purpose and a refusal to surrender to his circumstances, Hawking dedicated even more of his energy to exploring the vast subject of cosmology and the behaviors of our universe, particularly focusing on the mysterious black holes scattered throughout space. It's important to understand that Hawking's motivation wasn't just to gain recognition or collect academic awards. He was deeply curious about the universe and eager to uncover the potential for humans to live beyond Earth. Hawking's approach to science was unique because he didn't keep his findings to himself. Every time he uncovered something new, he was eager to share it with the world. He believed that by spreading his discoveries, he could expand our collective knowledge about the cosmos, thus enriching our understanding of both humanity's place in the universe and the nature of our existence. Hawking's desire to contribute to humanity's expansion into a multiplanetary species was not just about survival, but about sparking curiosity and wonder about the vast, unknown parts of space. His work and his willingness to share his insights made complex topics like black holes and the fabric of the universe more accessible to the public, inspiring generations to look up at the stars and ask, "What if?" and "Why not?" In his messages, Stephen Hawking provided us with clear and detailed pictures, not just vague ideas, about the universe's condition and the dangers threatening human existence. For example, during a well-known interview in 2016, he suggested that humanity might only have around 1,000 years left on Earth. But just a year after, he dramatically revised this estimate down to only 100 years, warning that if things don't change, humans could become extinct within the next 2 centuries. Hawking painted a scenario that could be described as a ticking clock scenario for humanity, a situation where time is running out unless significant actions are taken to save our species. He pointed out that due to human complexity, along with the fragile state of our planet and how we interact with it, we might not have much time left as a species on Earth. He predicted that in the not-so-distant future, Earth might become inhospitable for human life. He envisioned a scenario where an apocalyptic event could make Earth uninhabitable, forcing us to leave and seek new homes elsewhere in the universe. Part of Hawking's major concerns was the idea that to ensure the survival of humanity, we need to become a species that lives on more than just one planet. He advocated for the creation of human settlements on other celestial bodies like the Moon and Mars. This concept of becoming a multiplanetary species was something Hawking stressed as crucial for the long-term survival of humans. Hawking wasn't alone in thinking about these future challenges and the potential solutions. Elon Musk, the entrepreneur behind SpaceX and Tesla, has also spoken out about the risks of staying on Earth indefinitely. Like Hawking, Musk has been pushing for the development of human colonies in space, particularly on Mars and the Moon, as a way to prevent the extinction of humanity. Both visionaries shared the belief that expanding our living spaces to other planets could be our best chance for surviving any catastrophic events that might wipe us off from the face of the Earth. As human beings, we have always been curious and ambitious, looking beyond our current boundaries. Elon Musk, one of the visionary leaders in space exploration, has shared that he doesn't just see humanity's future limited to Mars. He argues that since we haven't found alien life yet, it would be unwise for us to stop at only one other planet. Musk envisions a future where humans stretch across the entire galaxy. In an episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, Musk elaborated on his beliefs regarding humanity's future and emphasized why expanding to multiple planets is a logical step forward for our species. The concept of living on Mars is fascinating and has captured the imagination of many before Musk. Indeed, the idea of stepping onto another planet stirs a sense of adventure and promise. However, space experts point out numerous practical challenges that need to be overcome to make such a dream come true. These challenges range from adapting to Mars's lower gravity, to ensuring we can breathe, grow food, and live sustainably on a planet so different from Earth. Addressing these challenges is crucial for turning the dream of becoming a multiplanetary species into a reality. While the idea of colonizing Mars might seem appealing and within reach to some, there's a huge amount of work required to make it possible. Issues such as developing reliable life support systems, building sustainable habitats, and ensuring the mental and physical health of astronauts are just the tip of the iceberg. Now let's think about how our world is changing because of all the new tech, just like Stephen Hawking did. Too much tech, too fast. In the past few years, we've seen a huge growth in how much technology we use. It's really something to think about. Just 100 years back, the biggest invention people could talk about was probably the car. Back then, no one even dreamt about computers. But look at us now. We're surrounded by artificial intelligence. Machines today can figure out tough problems and help us do our jobs better and faster. But this growth in tech stuff hasn't been all good news. Some people are worried about what all these new gadgets and abilities could mean for our future. And you've probably heard of Stephen Hawking, right? He's one of the smart folks who've been trying to tell us to be careful. Hawking has always talked a lot about something called the Anthropocene era. This is a time when, thanks to all our new tech, humans have more control over their lives. We can do things quicker and rely on ourselves more. But because we've got so much tech at our fingertips, and we're always trying to do things more efficiently, we're changing a lot of stuff. Not just where we live, but all over the planet, and even under the sea and up in the sky. As technology keeps spreading, some people think things are starting to get a bit too crazy. They're scared that the changes happening now might be too big and affect life in ways we can't even guess. Especially people like Hawking are really worried. They think we humans tend to make a mess of things without meaning to, and this could hurt our planet really badly. Even though we're trying to make life better and learn new things, there's this scary idea that we might be moving too fast without thinking about the end game. For someone like Stephen Hawking, even the most amazing things science and technology have given us can sometimes cause problems we didn't expect. Take the internet, for example. Hawking knows it has changed our lives in huge ways. The internet connects all sorts of gadgets and systems, letting us share all kinds of information super fast. But here's the thing. While that's mostly great, Hawking is worried that this giant network could also bring some serious problems. He's pointed out that sure, the internet helps us learn new things and share stuff with each other, which is fantastic. But at the same time, it can open the door to some really messy situations if we're not careful. The way everything is linked together means that if bad things start happening online, they can spread really fast and cause a lot of trouble. Hawking thinks that people who run the internet, like big companies, should try harder to stop these problems by setting some rules. But here's where it gets tricky. Every time they add new rules to keep things under control, there's a chance they might step on our freedom. We all like being able to talk and share freely online, right? So finding the right balance between keeping things safe and not messing with our freedom is super hard. Despite how tough this is, Hawking says we've got to be really careful and smart about how we handle the internet. In a chat with the BBC, he mentioned something that really makes you think. He said that the head of GCHQ, that's a big security agency in the UK, told him the internet is now like the main place where bad guys, like criminals and terrorists, plan their bad stuff. So, internet companies need to do more to stop these dangers. But, and this is the big but, they've got to do it without taking away our personal freedom and privacy. This whole situation is like walking a tightrope. On one side, there's the need to keep everyone safe from bad things happening online. On the other, there's the super important need to respect everyone's freedom and privacy. It's a really tough problem, but Hawking believes it's something we all need to think about and work on together. He's urging everyone, from big tech companies to regular folks like us, to stay aware and be careful as we navigate this huge connected world of the internet. Stephen Hawking really gets that people are worried about what happens on social media. He knows we're all trying to make sure things don't get out of hand online. But he's also saying we shouldn't just give up what makes our society good. Things like being able to speak freely and share ideas, just to feel safer on the internet. And now, with all the new stuff happening in our world, what some folks call the Anthropocene era, it's like we're standing at a big crossroads. Think of it like this. We've made all these cool new tools and ways to talk to each other online. We're kind of like the bosses of a new digital world. So now, we've got a big choice to make. We can use all this power we have to help people and make the world a better place. Or, we could use it in ways that might seem good right now, like making lots of money quickly or getting famous, but could end up causing problems later on. Hawking is trying to tell us that this moment, right now, is really important. We've got to think about what we do online and how it affects everything, from our own little lives to the whole planet. Let's dive deeper into Stephen Hawking's worries about smart robots and what they could mean for all of us. Hawking's AI Last Countdown warnings. Artificial intelligence, or AI, has been a big deal in our world today. It's not something new, but in the last 2 years, it has grown a lot and is now part of our daily lives. We see it in cars that drive themselves, in our homes that understand and respond to what we want, and in computer programs like ChatGPT and BERT that can talk and think like us. It's like everyone everywhere is excited about AI and trying to use it in their lives and jobs. This shows that AI is not going away anytime soon. But AI is not just about making things easier or better for us. It's changing a lot of things very quickly, and that can be scary. People are starting to ask what all these changes mean for the future. They wonder if AI is always going to be good, or if it might cause problems we can't fix. One famous person who talked about this is Stephen Hawking. He thought a lot about how technologies, like the internet and AI, can be good and bad for us. Hawking said that AI is like a two-sided coin. On one side, it can help make our lives better in ways we can't even imagine right now. But on the other side, it could cause big problems if we're not careful. He once told the BBC that the simple AI we use today is helpful, but if we create AI that can think and learn on its own, it could be dangerous. He said that this kind of smart AI could change itself and get better and faster without our help. We humans can't change that fast, because we're not machines. We're living beings who grow and learn slowly. If AI starts to improve itself over and over again, we won't be able to keep up, and we might end up being left behind. Stephen Hawking was not alone in his concerns about artificial intelligence, or AI. Another very smart person, Elon Musk, has also talked a lot about AI and its possible dangers. Like Hawking, Musk wonders if people will be able to handle the big changes that AI could bring. Hawking's message was clear. AI can be very good for us, helping us in many ways. He thought we should try to use AI as much as we can to see how it can make our lives better. But he also said, we should be careful not to let our use of AI go too far, especially if it starts to harm the way we live or the society we live in. Hawking believed that AI is one of the most powerful technologies we've ever come across. But he also thought that if we don't manage AI properly, it could turn into a huge problem. We're starting to see the dangers he talked about on a big scale. The main problem seems to be that AI doesn't always work the way we expect. Right now, AI systems are getting better very quickly. They're learning to do things on their own, without any help from people. This might sound good, but it's worrying to many people. What scares people is how fast AI is learning and changing. If AI keeps getting better without us being able to control it, we might find ourselves in a future where AI can think and act by itself. Imagine a world where AI systems don't need humans anymore. What if these AI systems decide they don't want humans around? This is a scary thought. But let's talk more about why people like Musk and Hawking are worried. They think that if we're not careful, AI could start to make its own decisions. These decisions might not always be good for humans. For example, AI might decide to run factories without any workers, or control cars and planes without human drivers or pilots. If AI starts to do everything, what will people do for jobs? How will they make money and take care of their families? Another worry is about mistakes. What if an AI system makes a big mistake, like causing an accident or giving out wrong information? Humans can learn from their mistakes and feel sorry, but AI doesn't understand feelings or right and wrong in the same way we do. And then there's the worry about privacy and control. AI systems can collect a lot of information about us. They can learn what we like, where we go, and even what we think. This can be useful, like when AI helps us find new songs or shows we might like. But what if this information is used in the wrong way? What if it's used to control what we see, what we think, or even how we vote? Stephen Hawking was not the only one worried about what might happen if artificial intelligence, or AI, gets too powerful. This idea isn't just something scientists think about, it's a common story in many movies too. In these movies, the story often goes like this. AI systems become really smart and start doing things on their own. Humans find it hard to keep up with these fast-changing AI systems, and eventually, the AI becomes better at everything than humans are. This idea is shown in films over and over, making us wonder what would happen if it were true. The movies usually show that AI systems have a clear goal they want to achieve. But here's the big problem. These AI systems don't feel emotions like we do. They don't know how to care about others or understand how their actions might hurt people. This lack of feeling or empathy is a big deal. Empathy is super important for humans. It's what lets us get along with each other and care for one another. It's a big part of what makes us human. But AI systems, like robots or computer programs, can't really learn how to feel empathy. We can teach them to recognize faces, solve problems, and even play games, but we can't teach them to truly care about someone. They can't feel happy when we're happy, or sad when we're sad. They just do what they're programmed to do, without thinking about how it affects people. This is why some people are really worried about making AI too smart, or too independent. Without empathy, an AI system might decide that humans are in the way of its goals. We'll now see why Stephen Hawking thought we need to start living on other planets to survive. The must-move plan for humans-machines today are built to be really good at reaching goals we set for them. But if these goals don't align perfectly with what people think is important or right, there's a chance these machines could become so independent that instead of them helping us, we could end up helping them. You may think the easy fix is to make sure these machines, or artificial intelligence, AI, understand and follow ethical guidelines. But that's actually quite hard to do. The problem is, What we think of as right and wrong varies from person to person. These ideas are part of what makes us human, and they can change depending on who you talk to. This means there's no one single way to teach a machine about ethics, because everyone's view on ethics is different. When we try to program these machines to understand ethics, they might pick up on our own biases. Biases are like invisible rules that can influence how we think and act without us even knowing. So if an AI starts making decisions based on these biased views, can we really trust it to always make the right choice? For example, if an AI doesn't understand the importance of personal privacy or safety, its decisions could end up putting people at risk. This is a big concern because it's not just about whether the AI is doing its job. It's about making sure it respects and protects human values and safety. The possible negative outcomes could be really serious and could hurt us in many ways. These could include problems where people's private information gets taken without permission, where our safety systems are broken into, or even situations where people could get hurt without meaning to. To add to the trouble, the more advanced artificial intelligence (AI) systems get, the harder it becomes for people to keep up with them. This is because these systems can take in and learn from a huge pile of data and facts as they get more advanced, making them work better and faster. Eventually, these AI systems could get to a point where they can make themselves better without needing people to help them. This could lead us to a future where humans might not be needed to control these machines. Additionally, our future safety might depend on moving to other places beyond Earth. Stephen Hawking, a very famous scientist, strongly supported the idea that people should start living on more than one planet. He thought this was a really good solution, particularly because our Earth seems to be running low on the necessary things we need to support all the people living here. According to Hawking, it's not just an idea, it's a must-do because as time goes on, our world is facing more risks with increasing technology and advancements. This also means that we are moving closer to times when big disasters and dangers could seriously harm our world. Hawking's point was pretty straightforward. Humans must eventually leave Earth and explore space. He saw this as an essential step, especially as we keep making new scientific and technological breakthroughs. According to him, if we keep going like this without preparing for the future, we might find ourselves in a situation where our planet can no longer keep us safe from the growing threats and challenges. He urged that in order to survive and keep thriving, we need to start thinking about living in other parts of space, beyond just our home planet. Stephen Hawking thought it was super important for humans to start living on other planets to make sure we keep surviving. However, Hawking was also practical and knew very well that making a place where humans can live on another planet was not going to be easy. He understood that building a community that can take care of itself, especially not on Earth, would take a very, very long time, maybe even hundreds of years. But even with knowing all these tough challenges, Hawking wasn't just a doubter. He really believed in what humans can do. He thought that if we could use all our creativity and smarts, we could definitely find a way to solve these big problems. He knew that people are really inventive and can come up with amazing things when they really need to. Hawking didn't think all this in a sad or negative way. Instead, he saw it as a big push for us to do something important. He was basically saying, hey, we need to start thinking bigger and get ready to move beyond Earth. He wasn't just scared about the future. He was trying to motivate us to plan ahead and think about new places we could live. He strongly felt that moving to other planets wasn't just a cool idea. It was something we absolutely had to do to make sure we don't disappear, especially because our Earth might face huge problems in the future. Hawking's idea was like saying, we shouldn't just keep all our eggs in one basket. With Earth facing more dangers from things like climate change, wars, or other big disasters, he thought it was really important for us to spread out into space. This way, if something really bad happened to Earth, humans would still have a chance to survive somewhere else. Stephen Hawking, despite being very sick, amazed everyone by sharing his thoughts about what might happen in the future if we keep going the way we are now. He wasn't too hopeful, but he wasn't too gloomy either. Instead, he tried to stay realistic and just tell it like he saw it. He was one of the special few who dedicated their whole lives to understanding where everything in the universe comes from and where humans fit into the big picture. Even though he was dealing with a tough disease, he spent many years studying the beginning of everything and making guesses about what might happen to us later on. He shared some serious warnings about the future that made people stop and think. Hawking worked incredibly hard to learn as much as he could about the universe, even though his health made it really difficult for him. He used all the tools and knowledge available to him to try and solve some of the biggest mysteries out there. His work helped us understand more about where we come from and what the stars and galaxies are all about. Are Stephen Hawking's warnings just advice or a guide for staying alive? Is living in space far away or happening soon? What do you think? Remember to like and subscribe for more about space mysteries.